Hey, so how's it going, guys? So this is the second video on the channel, Fan Buzz the NBA Analysis Machine. So the last video I did was react to Colin Cowherd's picks for the possible playoff format, which is 1 to 16, the based on the con with no basis on conference, just the 16 best teams. Now this idea offers me some kind of fairness for the Western Conference, 8 spots ideas to give other teams a fair chance. You can go for a play-in or you can go for a group stage like this, but group stage is more radical. Some good team who has worked hard may get eliminated within a sneak peek of a moment, or whatever it is. You just get eliminated in spite of putting hard work for the past 6 months. I just want to explore this idea, so I went to the Ringers webpage on why the NBA could and should look more like the World Cup. So let's just get it going. Possible conference finals matchups. Yeah, he's Silver admitted in Paris that the Paris game between the Bucks and the Hornets, he's jealous of certain ways of soccer globally, and advocated NBA adopt a soccer style mid-season tournament and late season play-in tournament. I get where he's coming from, because you see the way that football is going, like they draw in groups in the UEFA Champions League using a lottery, I believe. Um, and plus the groups in the World Cup also randomly drawn up. But the disadvantages, a good team may get stuck behind a lot of good teams, and a really good team may get stuck behind a lot of bad teams. So I believe the competitive level should stay fair, but that's the perks and the disadvantages which comes with group play. So let's just go on. Of course, it won't be 16 current, which next best records. So this changes from the 1 to 16 formats to give the teams who had a more easier schedule than the Grizzlies down the stretch, to give them a chance, because though the records were not as good enough, they certainly had a easier stretch than the Grizzlies, and who knows, they might have overtaken the Grizzlies to the 8 spots. So you gotta give them the benefit of the doubt, but you could also say they should have worked hard. But for some of these teams like the Blazers and the Pelicans, or maybe even other teams too, most specifically Pelicans and the Trailblazers, they have been through so much injuries, so it hasn't been fair to them. But injuries are a part of the game. There's no way to make them come back to us. So we have to try to make it as fair as possible. So I either advocate for a plane, or I go for a group stage like tournament to resolve this. Or you could either play in and then make a spot for the 1 to 16, which should give them a good chance, but you might have to end up, or you can play a 14, 15, and 16 from teams, 7, 8, and then 8, 9, 10 teams in the 8, 9, 10, 11 teams in the Western Conference, give them a last 3 spots. But this again would be a disadvantage, because other teams like in the East, though, who have worked hard, who have also faced injuries, in like Nets and the Magic, who Jonathan Isaac went out. Nets, who have been without Kyrie Irving for a long time, though he's team cancer according to everyone, he's still a good point guard. He's still one of the better point guards in the league. So I advocate. So now they've organized this into tiers. So I'm just gonna let y'all see the tiers here. So just to let all of us know. So the tiers are grouped by four consecutive teams, 1 to 4, 5 to 8, and then so on. So I'm gonna be going to the possible group stage draw. Whoa. So I'm gonna be going into the photo right now. So the Bucks, Jazz, Sixers, Grizzlies, Blazers. Honestly, if it were healthy, I would pick the Bucks and Jazz. Not to say the Jazz aren't, but Bogdanovich, he was an essential piece. I could still go for the Jazz. You know what? I'm still gonna go for the Jazz because honestly, they've shown me the ability to do it even without a lot of players. But the thing is, in the time Conley was injured, Ingles played more on the wing, while Bogdanovich played at the four. So this might see a change with either Royce O'Neal or Ingles going to the power forward spot. So it might affect their shooting ability because Bogdanovich is the most consistent shooter on the Jazz, and all of us know Jazz were tied to the Heat for for the best shooting team on percentages in the NBA. So I'd go the Bucks and Jazz because the Sixers have a very clunky fit, though their talent and potential is way high. Their fit together is bad and bad too. So the Jazz fit together more while the Sixers don't. Honestly, they could figure it out. I would pick the Sixers, but since they are a very bad shooting team, and since MB has to act more of a floor spacer with Simmons, while Simmons won't take the shot. This is just literal facts. He might, but he's not. So I'd give the Jazz the edge. Lakers, Heat, Rockets, Magic, Pelicans. I'd go with Lakers and Heat here. Why? Because in teams who have a versatile big who can stay on the perimeter, it creates a bit of a disadvantage for the Rockets because their concept of five out is mostly related to drawing the shooting ability is related to drawing the big away from the paint, allowing Westbrook to attack the rim with daring daring escapades. But I don't believe this might work because other teams might have good perimeter defenders. Lakers, for one, I know they don't have the best perimeter defense, but in the interior they have good defenders. But this five out concept tests them on the perimeter because as you know, they have good perimeter defenders, Avery Bradley and Danny Green, but they're not the elite perimeter defense team. While they're one of the more elite interior defensive teams, but I still feel like in the offensive end, you might say they're gonna double teams, but there's no way for them to stop LeBron James or Anthony Davis in a 7 game series because the Frank Vogel's thinking he can put them on to mismatches which give Westbrook some fits because those are just games on regular season. While series they have the chance to plan against you. The Heat and the Rockets is where so Lakers finishing first. Heat and the Rockets. The Heat have a bunch. They are good shooters. One man floor spacer Duncan Robinson. He's one of the more prolific shooters in the league. And Kendrick Nunn, he's not the kind of guy who can match up with Russell Westbrook easily because Russell Westbrook's one of the more athletic guards who relies mostly on speed and athletic ability. But the thing is, he also has a good mid-range shot, which other people not really comforting to take, but the kind of defense which can give you fits, of course. But the liability here is this thing. Myers Leonard. Myers Leonard's like he can't stay locked in the paint, but Russell Westbrook coming downhill is a health hazard for anyone. Health hazard. I'm just saying, with a guy as with high a motor who can finish downhill with Russell Westbrook, I'd give him the edge. But the thing is, though you may not think of it like that, but the Heat last time we faced the Rockets, they lost, but that was without Jimmy Butler. That was still by only 9 points, 117, 108. So, and plus Bam Adebayo can go. You don't need big. You can go small and defeat the Rockets with your more versatile players, because that's gonna give them fits. One who can follow Westbrook, like 6'9", 6'10" big, who can follow Westbrook, and others who can guard the perimeter. Of course, I'm gonna give the Heat the edge. Raptors, Celtics, Thunder, Mavericks, and Spurs. This one's very tough, but I'm still gonna go with the Raptors, who not everyone has acknowledged, who everyone said they're pretenders, but the fact is they don't have Kawhi Leonard. That's a big, huge disadvantage. No matter how strong a team you are, he can make buckets down the stretch. He can defend the team's best player. But the thing is, they are more than Kawhi. The thing is, they're dominating without him. So I'd rather give. And plus many good stories. Terrence Davis, Norman Powell's become more consistent, 16 point per game scorer. OG Anunoby is coming to the small forward spot. So I'm gonna give the Raptors the first spot. Celtics, and I see the Celtics and the Thunder dueling this out. No offense to the Mavericks, but I feel like the Mavericks have a better offense than the Thunder, but the Thunder have a better defense, and they're more suited to when teams of almost similar kind of position come play each other. It's almost slated to come down to the final few minutes, and I give the Thunder the edge because they have been the best clutch team in the league, and they have shown me the ability to slowly like grind for W's down the stretch. I've seen them even when they're down. I've seen them come back and win games because that's what they do. So, and Chris Paul, Shea Gilgis, Alexander, Dennis Schroeder, the 3 point guard attack is due to give anyone fits, but because there's IQ, the scoring, the attack, the defense, the speed, it's a blue fit. And Gallinari and Adams are. Gallinari is more of a outside scorer because that's his strength. According to me, I have to force him to more mid rangers. He's still good at that, but he's not. His game relies more on the 3 pointer. Steven Adams more of a old school big who can score on the inside. He can anchor a defense. He can pull down rebounds. But the thing is with the Celtics, what they do, they stretch the offense out, which is basically basically neutralize the slow-footed big. So in this case, I'll still give the Celtics the edge because based on talent alone, I can give them the edge. It'll still be a good fight, but I give the Celtics the edge. Clippers, Nuggets, Pacers, Kings. Clippers get the first spot. They have one of the best starting lineups and a very good bench, the best bench in the league. Nuggets and Pacers, what it comes down to. Nuggets grind this out, according to me, because they are a more um, versatile team. Though the Pacers have been a very good team. The Nuggets have better shooting. The defense goes hand in hand, but I still trust the Nuggets. Nuggets in offense. Victor Oladipo still coming up from his injury. Malcolm Brogdon's deal with some of his own. The constant this year for the Pacers been Sabonis. He's frankly taken his role from a six man to an all star because Thaddeus Young left the Pacers. So, be honest with you, I don't think it's gonna be an easy one, but for primary purposes, I still go with the Nuggets because though they are kind of streaky, I can rely on them to get buckets more down the stretch than the Pacers, and the depth almost rivals each other. Nuggets have more reliable options in the bench because when you look at the and plus Jeremy Lamb's one of the more better players of the Pacers. He's out with season-ending surgery, if I'm right. TJ Warren's good, but he's not. I don't think he's more of a defender. So I'm still gonna give the Nuggets the edge. So that's it. So I'm just gonna move on. Got with Houston's pick and roll attack, of course. Miami's zone. Miami's zone's actually kind of good, but the thing is, when they on the West Coast trip as a Heat fan, and I saw they went into the zone more, and this literally killed them because those teams went off for three pointers, three pointers, three pointers. The Clippers hit 24, the Kings hit 19, the Blazers hit, I believe, like 17 or something. I don't really know the numbers because I came here without the numbers, but still. Then marquee matchup between LeBron and Zion, of course. Like on Group 1, Damian Lillard, of course. Damian Lillard said he won't play any relevant games, of course. But the thing is, he's tagged them out. Let's just go back and see her. Blazers are in a very stacked group because Bucks, Jazz, Sixers, though the Gobert and Mitchell fit is now questioned, I believe they can get it together, but still it's no joke because how do you feel if anyone, if both who have been teammates, good teammates, your two best players, like are not on terms with each other? It's frankly not good at all because they are the two best players you'd rely upon, but I think they can mend it come if group stage is that time. Multiple elite defenses. Bucks a very good defense. Sixers clunky, but the defense is really good. The best 3 point defense. I believe they're one of the better 3 point defenses in this league. Then the Jazz very good interior defense. And possibility of a group of death, yes. If you watch me in the first video, I assembled groups using a random number generator, but accidentally I made a group of death because this was a group of death in the first groups I've assembled: Lakers, Raptors, Celtics, 76ers, and Trailblazers. That's a stacked team. You really don't know who's gonna get it because Lakers are definitely, in my eyes, I don't even know the Lakers gonna make it. I think they will, but beyond that, there are so many more talented teams, those who can upset each other. So I really don't know. That's why I put it in the comment section to let you guys know let you notify me on who might make it to the later stages. The one more thing is, look at this. Consider allowing tier 1 teams because they have grinded the regular season out. They have played very well to give them an advantage to draft who they want to. Already pushed back group stage because the Eastern Conference, they don't want to face the Western because the Western's more superior. They don't want to face superior teams. They want to go on the weaker one. That's my mindset. Weaker West teams wouldn't want to give up leverage in future discussions because concerns about coast to coast travel. But anyway, going to be a neutral site in ESPN Wildwater Sports, if I'm right, in Orlando. So anyway. So according to me, they have to compensate teams who have really played well in the regular season with some kind of advantage. In my case, you can go with the groups who the teams want to draft, with the Bucks being one group, the Clippers being one, Raptors being one, the Lakers being the other. They have the right to draft their own groups, of course. So I like that because it gives some kind of advantage to those teams who played well. Though this is true, but this shuffling may be true, but this is not the time for us to talk about shuffling. This either, according to me, they have to, I think they'd have to get to San Diego to fulfill what I've learned was a contractual agreement to fulfill RSN's contract, RSN being in regional sports networks like Fox Sports, NBC Sports, AT&T Sportsnet. It also gives teams that are on the playoff bubble a chance. So, other possible formats, but what other people have criticized 1 to 16 format for, it gives the Lakers a better chance, easier chance to go through the finals because as much as they don't have to face the Clippers, then the Bucks, so it gives them more easier people have criticized this path because it gives the Lakers a more easier path. Play-in tournament, which is what I have told already. Now, that based on March and this is not fair at all. It might be a solution, but it's not fair because other teams have had more easier schedules down the stretch. And some teams are more harder, so there's a chance for teams to shuffle in the standings, but it's still one of the more solutions. This is what I talked about the 1 to 16 bracket, 16 team playoff bracket. It's not actually boring as this is, but some are more non-marketable matchups, but doesn't mean it's boring, but it's still good enough for me to watch. Rating sensation. A good rating sensation, of course. Teams that would participate in states with a team that would participate in. I'd rather go for a kind of format which grants teams more. Yeah, this is what I told. NBA teams have deals with RSNs for regular season games, which is beyond the 70 point threshold. Almost the 70 games threshold. Sorry, it's not 70 points, 70 games. Much to be lost because this generates more revenue, more matchups, more appealing, more marketing. So it obviously loses the league more if the postseason's cancelled. So. And mostly it's gonna be happening in the Disney Wild World, ESPN Wild World of Wide World of Sports in Orlando. That's the more probable site according to many. Was So that's the end of the article, guys. So based on what I've read from this, I've learned about a lot of formats in the last few days. This really delved a lot into the advantages and disadvantages for the group stage because in some cases you have to let teams draft the groups for having played very well, but one thing you can't say is it they had a more difficult schedule, so you can't base it off that. But that really no other way. You have to go with something cause a disadvantage. But if there's any fair way, I would like it. But this may be one of the only ways to go. So, or they may go with the regular playoff concept. Just an intriguing option. So that's capped off, guys. Thanks and see y'all. I hope all of y'all are safe. So I'll be doing something more intriguing, another playoff option.